Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. I'm RoyalMixGaming and today we're going to be talking about Nebuchadnezzar II and we're going to be talking about his commander guide today. So we're going to talk about what's the best skills he has until you expertise him. So if you're like a free to play or you're just entering the Season of Conquest and you're an archer player, what's the best skills that you need to unlock until you get him expertised? Because I do recommend that you expertise him because he's a very good core commander that you should have in your 5 March Murder Ball. And then we're going to talk about his talents, and then we're going to talk about his gear, and we're going to talk about like what's the best epic gear, and then what's some small improvements you can do as you go up the tiers into legendary gear. So we're going to start off with his skills. So his primary skill does a 1500 damage factor to 5 targets in a 180-degree fan-shaped area. And then it deals 500 current damage factor to a current target for his primary skill. Second skill is archer defense and some march speed. Third skill is for rally, deals back more counterattack damage, direct damage factors back to the targets that are swarming you, and then there's a march speed reduction on the targets swarming him in the rally. And then his last skill is just increasing his all damage and then reducing the rage of the target by 100 every 3 seconds. Then his expertise is the 500 damage factor, so if you don't have him expertise, you won't have the additional 500 damage factor to the current target, which makes it a 2000 damage factor to the current target, basically. I mean, it's reduced if you're hitting more targets, but it just depends on how many targets you're hitting, depending on what damage factor you do to each target. So if you're not going to be expertising him, or you are basically just entering the Season of Conquest, I would recommend you get him to 5-5-1-1 to start off with. And then if you're lucky enough, I would recommend you try and get him to 5-5-1-5 to try and get the damage boost at the end, because the third skill is strictly for rallies, and it's not going to help you if you're not expertising him. So 5-5-1-5, so you get all the damage boosts, all the damage you can get from the primary skill, and then you get some extra defense and march speed from the second skill. I do recommend you expertise him, but you're going to know that's going to cost you 690. The him to 5-5-1-5 is only 310. You just have to have some luck to get him to the last skill to 5. And if you can get the skill to like 3 or 4, and you have the third skill at 2 or 3, then it's still good. You're working on the expertise anyways, and he's a good core commander because he goes well with YSG. So his pair would be recommended with YSG, because most people are going to have YSG as a free-to-play or low spender. You should have YSG expertise as your first commander that you do. And if you're a higher spender or you have more commanders, Ramses a primary to him, and then also Gilgamesh, and you use Gilgamesh primary and then Nebuchadnezzar secondary. For rally leads, Gilga Nebu is probably one of the better archer rallies right now. Gilga primary and then Nebuchadnezzar secondary. But for open field, it's Nebuchadnezzar and YSG together. So then what we're going to talk about is his talents. So some talent trees that you can do. This is mostly for the archer tree. You're going to do all the way over here to rejuvenate, go to clarity, and then get some points into whistling arrows. You could possibly reduce the rage you gain and put more into this to get more all damage. Either way is probably fine. This depends on your preference if you care for more rage, and depends on the accessories you have. If you have like a horn at some point, then you could probably drop some of these points and just put them into the all damage skill. If you don't have a horn, you can also go for feral nature, but you're going to have to drop basically all the points in whistling arrows, and all the points probably over here on razor sharp, and just do the middle part to the top trees and get what points you can. So it would look something more like this. So we're going to get all the way up to feral nature. You're going to go up to here, get venomous sting. You're going to get phoenix tail arrows as much as you can. You can either go into phoenix tails arrows, which gives you additional damage factors, or you can go into getting more scale damage. Either one is good. It depends on what you're feeling like you can do. I would still recommend doing this one instead, because you're going to get more skill damage basically on the all damage, because the archer tree is really good, and that's basically the tree I'd recommend. If you go for the full feral nature, you're going to do more rage again, but you're not going to do as much damage when you pop skills necessarily, depending on how often this is going to pop when you have the other skill. for the first talent tree. So then for archer gear, I would recommend full revival set. So you're going to have the helmet, the chest, your pants, and then your gloves for your 4-piece set. I recommend the Golden Age and the health boots for archers, the flame treads for a basic starter set. You can always do blues and greens if you can't make purples when you first start out, but by Season of Conquest you should have or be able to make epics and work on special talents for that. Accessories, you can do Delanes and then a Silent Trial or an Ancient Stratagems, depends on your preference on epic accessories. Wouldn't necessarily worry about getting the blue March speed because he's got enough March speed as it is. And then if you're going to work on legendaries after that, I would recommend you start with the chest and probably gloves because you're getting the 2-piece set bonus for both sets from the pants and the helmet, and then the chest and gloves give you the archer set bonus. And then for accessories, Ring of Doom, and I would recommend you get the Horn of Fury, which is on my XY right now, because you're going to boost your raids gen and do more damage when the ring procs, and that is basically end game top tier stuff. Is going to be a full archer set on your Nebuchadnezzar. So basically the full archer set is probably the best you can do. You can always mix and match with KVK equipment if you really want to, but these 6 pieces is probably the best for archers, especially for rallies. And then for high spenders, you can try and talent that kind of stuff. But Horn and Ring, like I was saying, for rallies or even open field, once you get to that really far end stage and you have a lot of accessories and stuff, I know for most people this is going to take a very long time, but once you get to that point, it would be Horn and Ring, unless they come out with something later on. At the time of this recording though, Horn and Ring, it would be the best option for you. Until then, epic accessory, probably, like I said, Delane's Amulet, Silent Trial, or the Ancient Stratagems is good enough. And then the full archer set of the Revival set, and then the Golden Age and the boots, so that you have a good set of archer gear on your Nebuchadnezzar. So lastly, we're just going to kind of talk about in general what he's good for. He's really good for hitting a lot of open field targets in a big murder ball with YSG, like I was saying. And that's the main reason he's one of my core commanders, is because he does really a lot of AoE damage and gives you a lot of value. Very similar to what YSG does, because YSG is a circle AoE, but his AoE is basically like Ethelflaed's. It's a 180, so it's much better than a Methmed, an XY, or something like that. That's more of like a much like smaller cone-shaped one. This is like an actual like half a circle, 180-degree fan-shaped AoE that's really going to hit a lot of targets. Even if you're not aiming at that target, you're most likely going to hit it. So that's why I would recommend that you do Nebuchadnezzar, because he's going to go well if you have Guan Yu, Nevsky, XY. If you have other commanders like Saladin, things like that do a lot of skill damage, he's going to be another good pair in your murder ball for your 5 core commanders. I made a video a while back about 5 core commanders and their best pairs, and this is just his video on his spotlight and giving you the best talents, skills, order, and then equipment, and then the talents in this one video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys also try to max him at some point, because he's a very good commander. And then I will also let you guys know that this Thursday at 16:30 UTC, I plan to do a live stream where I'm going to max a monitor and then craft the rest of my archer set so that I'm prepared for KVK, because this Wednesday at reset our pre-KVK is going to start. We have our opponents here. After I click on it here, I have our opponents here. I'll let you guys know what our allies are and stuff in the stream so that it's all in the same video, but I just want to let you guys know Thursday at 16:30 UTC I'm going to do a stream and craft and do maxing commanders, and then that's going to be really a lot of fun. You guys can ask any questions, anything you want to do. Is kind of a chill stream for about an hour, hour and a half until I have to go to class. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if you have any questions, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and hope you guys have a nice day.